The morning sun barely pierced the dense pines of Willowbrook Estates, casting dappled light across my grandfather's lakeside cabin as I sipped coffee on the porch, the mug's warmth a comfort against the October chill. The air smelled of damp earth and cedar, the lake's gentle lapping a soothing backdrop, until 3 sharp knocks, like gunshots, rattled the door. "Sheriff's Department! Open up immediately!" A voice barked with unyielding authority. My mug froze mid-sip, the hairs on my neck prickling. I set it down, the ceramic clinking against the weathered oak table, and strode to the door, already sensing the architect of this disruption. Opening it revealed 2 deputies, their badges glinting in the dawn, and behind them, Denise Hartwell, Willowbrook's HOA president, radiating triumph in a crimson power suit that screamed dominance. Her manicured finger jabbed at me like a dagger, her voice dripping with false concern. "There he is, officers, the illegal squatter trespassing on HOA property for months. Remove him now." Deputy Thompson, the taller of the pair, shifted uncomfortably, his eyes flicking between Denise's smugness and my calm defiance. "Sir, we've received a complaint you're occupying this property unlawfully. We need ID and proof of ownership." I smiled faintly, reaching for the leather folder I'd kept ready since Denise's campaign began. "Happy to comply, Deputy. Care for coffee while I grab it?" Denise's voice cut through like a siren. "Absolutely not. He's stalling, probably destroying evidence." Thompson raised a hand, silencing her. "We'll wait here, sir. Get your documents." I returned with the folder, its contents a testament to 7 decades of family legacy. As Thompson flipped through the deed, surveyor's maps and title records, his expression morphed from neutral to stunned. Deputy Martinez, peering over his shoulder, raised her eyebrows so high they nearly vanished under her cap. "Ma'am," Thompson said, turning to Denise, his tone now edged with suspicion. "These show this property's been in Mr. Garrett's family since 1952, before Willowbrook existed." Denise's triumphant smirk flickered, but she rallied, thrusting a folder at him. "Those are forgeries. I have proof this land's HOA property." Thompson's eyes narrowed as he examined her papers. I watched, heart pounding, as his face hardened. "Ma'am, this annexation agreement is signed by Walter Garrett, dated 2 weeks before his death, when medical records show he was incapacitated in hospice. Care to explain?" Denise's composure shattered, her crimson suit suddenly garish against her paling face. That's not... Walter agreed for the community's good." Martinez stepped forward, hand on her duty belt. "Ma'am, you're coming to the station to answer questions." Denise's panic was palpable, her eyes darting like a trapped animal's. That's when things got really interesting. "I'm Marcus Garrett, a 40-year-old systems analyst who's swapped city chaos for the serenity of Crystal Lake. 6 months ago, I inherited my grandfather Walter's cabin in Willowbrook Estates, a gated mountain community 3 hours from Austin. The 2-bedroom A-frame, with its creaky pine floors and stone fireplace, was my childhood haven. Summers spent fishing off the wooden dock, roasting marshmallows by the fire pit, and listening to Grandpa Walt's tales of his 40 years as a park ranger. The property, bought with his Wabawa II veterans benefits, spanned 3 acres of woodland and 200 feet of private lake frontage. A slice of paradise passed down through 3 generations. After Walt's passing, I left my soul-draining job to live here full-time, planning to freelance remotely while fixing up the cabin's peeling paint and creaky pipes. I envisioned quiet days coding under pines, the lake's shimmer my only distraction. But Denise Hartwell and her HOA had other plans. Willowbrook Estates, a sprawl of McMansions a mile down the road, had sprung up 5 years ago, its residents obsessed with 4-car garages and imported marble. Denise, a 48-year-old real estate broker with a penchant for control, ruled the HOA like a queen regent. Her lakeside mansion, perched on a manicured hill, was her throne, and her crimson suits and designer heels were her armor. She'd turned Willowbrook into a petty dictatorship, fining residents for incorrect mulch shades, banning birdhouses as visual clutter, and once threatening to tow a retiree's truck for parking 10 minutes past curfew. Her reputation was a whispered legend. She'd measured a neighbour's grass at dawn, ruler in hand, and cited a family for unapproved holiday lights. I'd assumed my cabin, predating her HOA by decades, was beyond her reach. I was wrong. Trouble began 2 weeks after I moved in. I was replacing rotted dock boards, the lake's breeze cooling my sweat, when Denise power walked down my private path, her workout gear screaming wealth. "Excuse me," she called, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "You can't build on HOA property without approval. Cease construction now." I wiped my hands on my jeans, offering a smile. "There's a mix-up, ma'am. This is private property, not part of your HOA." Her laugh was venomous. "I'm Denise Hartwell, HOA President. Our updated boundary agreements place this lakefront under our jurisdiction. You'll need permits for changes and $300 monthly dues. Quite reasonable." My smile froze. "This land's been ours since 1952. We're not in your HOA." Her eyes narrowed behind Gucci sunglasses. "Our records disagree. Review the new county assessments, Mr. Garrett. Things change." She typed furiously on her phone, muttering about violations and legal action, then marched off, already dialing. The next 3 months were a siege. My mailbox overflowed with HOA violation notices, each more absurd than the last. My dock's non-compliant grey hue, it needed Willowbrook wheat. My grandfather's fishing boat an eyesore. My gravel path improperly maintained. Fines escalated from $50 to $500, each accompanied by Denise's florid signature. I responded with letters citing my deed and exemption, but her replies grew hostile, questioning my documents' authenticity. Then came her masterstroke, a notice demanding $8,000 in back dues, late fees, and fines, threatening a lien if unpaid within 30 days. Furious, I stormed the county records office, sifting through dusty files under flickering lights. My property's title was clear, predating Willowbrook's HOA. But a chilling discovery emerged. A boundary adjustment agreement filed 6 months ago, claiming my land was annexed via a deal with my grandfather, signed 2 weeks before his death, when he was comatose in hospice. The shaky signature screamed fraud. I hired Janet Morrison, a property lawyer whose office walls boasted victories over rogue HOAs. She reviewed the documents, her jaw tightening. "This is blatant forgery. Walter couldn't have signed this. We've got medical records to prove it." We built a case, but Denise escalated. She filed county complaints about illegal structures and environmental violations, forcing me to host inspectors who found nothing amiss. One, a grizzled environmental officer, admired the cabin's upkeep. "Your granddad would be proud," he said, shaking his head at Denise's lies. She even called Adult Protective Services, claiming I lived in unsafe conditions. The visits drained my time and savings, but I held firm. Then Denise played her trump card, a sheriff's complaint alleging I was a squatter on HOA land, leading to that morning's confrontation. As Deputy Thompson grilled Denise on her forged signature, her bravado crumbled. "This is ridiculous," she shrieked. "I'm the HOA president. I have authority." Thompson's voice was steel. "Not over private property outside your HOA. Filing false documents is a crime, ma'am." Martinez escorted her to the cruiser, her protests echoing. I handed over my documents, including every violation notice. Neighbours, drawn by the commotion, whispered in clusters, some nodding in solidarity. They'd endured Denise's tyranny too. The investigation, led by Detective Sarah Chen, no relation, uncovered a scheme as audacious as it was vile. For a year, Denise had targeted pre-HOA lakefront properties owned by elderly residents or heirs. Her plan? Forge annexations, claim HOA control, and force sales to a developer eyeing a luxury marina. My 200 feet of lake frontage was her crown jewel, poised to transform Willowbrook into a high-dollar lakefront enclave, inflating her own property's value. She'd forged documents for 3 other cabins, using fake maintenance excuses to change locks and harass owners. Her computer, seized in a raid, held a digital diary of her plot, notes on Walter's hospice decline, signature practice sheets, and emails to the developer. She was meticulous, Chen said, and arrogant enough to document it all. The fallout was seismic. Denise faced charges of forgery, fraud, attempted grand theft, and filing false documents, each carrying years in prison. The DA, Michelle Torres, saw a chance to warn other HOAs. "This isn't just theft, it's a betrayal of community trust," she told the Willowbrook Herald. The HOA board ousted Denise unanimously, banning her from future roles. The developer sued her for fraud, the county for investigation costs. 3 elderly owners filed a civil suit for harassment. Her husband, a quiet banker, filed for divorce, claiming ignorance of her schemes. Legal fees forced her to list her McMansion, which sold at a loss after a foreclosure scare. The trial was a spectacle. Denise's defense, that she acted for the community's good, collapsed under her damning records. "I testified about finding my cabin violated, my grandfather's legacy defiled." Other owners shared similar betrayals. The judge was merciless. "You weaponized trust, Ms. Hartwell, preying on neighbors for profit." She got 5 years in prison, 3 years probation, and $200,000 in restitution. Her gasp, 5 years, echoed as bailiffs led her away, her crimson-clad empire in ruins. Willowbrook healed. A new board, led by retiree Clara Evans, slashed Denise's rules, greenlighting docks and wildflowers. Neighbors rallied, hosting lakefront barbecues, their laughter mingling with the pine's rustle. I restored the cabin, my key turning smoothly in a new lock. A framed photo hangs inside. "The Lake at Dawn," captioned, "Legacy Defended." It's a reminder. Greed falls when resolve meets justice. Got an HOA nightmare? Share below. Like if this lakefront saga gripped you, and stay tuned for more tales where truth drowns tyranny.